Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session of the Learning Tube. I'm Alicia Little. So excited to have you here today, to see you here today, because we have an amazing session set up for you. It's all about essential tips for grant writing and fundraising. And our speaker is going to brazzle dazzle you, I promise. She is amazing. Her name is Torin Brazzle. See where I got the brazzle dazzle from? And she'll tell you about her business, but I was introduced to her to teach her group some AI, and her group is was blown away by the different things that she does. So you're going to learn about, grant rate writing and fundraising, and it doesn't matter like whether you're a leader in a nonprofit, about to set up one, looking to be a grant writer yourself, or you're passionate about just making a difference. This session is one that you're going to be so glad you said yes to and came on to. So she's going to show us proven strategies that will help secure more funding. Someone say money, money in the comments. Karen, say money, money in the comments. How do you secure more funding and take your mission, your passion, what you do to the next level? So she's going to show us again on writing winning grants. Writing what type of grants? Dadrian, say it in the comments. Winning, winning. We're here to win. Writing winning grants, actionable tips to boost your fundraising efforts. And then we're going to talk about real world strategies that have helped nonprofits succeed. And as you learn all about her business and what she does, you're going to be blown away. So if you are ready, say ready in the chat. If you are ready to supercharge your fundraising and grant knowledge and really think about your mission and your cause and propel it forward, are you ready for this high impact session? Give me a ready in the comments. Give me a ready in the comments. All right, we are ready. And on that note, I have the lovely, the beautiful, the amazingly brilliant, the Brazzle Dazzle, Torin Brazzle here for us.
I
Say hi to
love it.
everyone.
Hey, y'all. I am so excited to be here. First of all, let me just say thank you so much, Alicia, to you and
Yeah,
your sister for this amazing platform that you
yeah,
have
thank you.
shared. I hope that I am able to help you like a eighth of how you were able to help my team and I,
Oh,
like
thank
with this AI, like it's a whole thing, right?
you.
But for
Thank
those of
you.
you guys that don't know me, I am Torin Darling Brazzle, the founder, CEO, and president of Ignite, formerly known as Ignite Alabama, but you can find us now as Ignite Central. Well, I started Ignite back in 2019, honestly, as a Black woman, like desperately like being that change that I needed to see in my community. Because y'all, I just kept saying, like, it can't be this hard. And so for those of you guys that are here today, I want you to let me know in the chat. Help me understand if you are currently, put a one in the chat if you currently operate a nonprofit. I'm trying to see sort of where we at, so I can make sure that I tailor this to help you. So let me know if you're currently operating a nonprofit. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And so if you are currently operating that nonprofit, last year, thank you so much, Katina and Pastor Rhonda and Anna Marie. I see you. So let me ask you, if you're operating a nonprofit right now, can you let me know if you have actually revenue so far, like brought in grants more than $100,000? Has anybody in here actually brought in more than $100,000? Okay, got it, got it. So guess what? I'm here for you. And those for y'all that have done more, then I can got you too, because I got a seed grant from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation before I was officially even a nonprofit. Did y'all hear me? Yeah. So you ready? No pass ready? Okay. So for nonprofits, first of all, the first thing I want to make sure that you guys understand is that nonprofit is a tax status. That does not mean that you cannot make money. I am here to tell you now, after being here for almost 30 years in this industry, that not only is it essential, like can you, but it is vitally essential. Okay. There's a lot of miseducation and information out there that has us thinking that because we are a nonprofit, that we cannot make money in our nonprofits, and you can. Your nonprofit is a business. Okay. And so you definitely want to operate it as such. Now, when I started Ignite, and I'm gonna walk y'all all the way through. So what I'm gonna do, because I have a nonprofit success tips guide, y'all, that I wrote this thing back in 2021 when I got my first break. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of times we have people that are out here that are presenting themselves as a subject matter expert, but they're really not. And so, what I want to say to those of you is that I didn't do this until I got $600,000 from a national funder. I've now, in God's grace, been able to take that $600,000 and flip it into a $1.4 million investment from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. And when I first started talking with them, I wasn't even a nonprofit yet. So I want you to understand, when I was saying 5 years ago, it can't be this hard. Not only did I believe that, but I've now been able to prove it. So if you take these steps that I am about to share with you, I promise you, if you put in the work, it's not a matter of if you're going to be successful and you're going to get those dollars, it is going to be a matter of when. So the first thing I want to do is I want to thank you for being that change, or even desiring to be that change that you need to see. I know that this is not easy, but I promise you that if you really believe in what you're doing, that you absolutely are going to be okay. For those of you guys that are not, and I'm not going to apologize for my faith, but I do want to be sensitive to understand that people may be in different places. That is just my place of encouragement, right? But where I'm going with this is that if you've been called to this, if you really believe in what you're doing, I promise you, it's not a matter of if you're going to be successful. It is, yes, you are. Now, how do you be successful? Number one, you have to decide, what is your why, right? Why are you starting your nonprofit? The number two question I need you to ask yourself is, what is the problem that your nonprofit exists to serve? Are any of you guys familiar with A.G. Gadsden? A.G. Gadsden is one of the first noted Black millionaires in the state of Alabama. And I read one time that he said, if you find a need, fill it, right? And so what is the need? The next question is, what is your mission? What is your vision, your goals, your objectives? And last but not least, what are the services you'll provide? Now, look, I have a whole bunch of resources that I'm going to send your way. So don't worry if you don't know these things yet, or if you need help crafting it, because not only am I going to go to our good friend ChatGPT to show you how to get the answers to some of these questions, or to refine what you have, but I'm also going to give you a lot of tools and resources, including this guide, so that you can go back after today's session and walk through it, okay? Now, services you provide. Why is it that I need you to be clear about why you exist? What's the problem that you exist to serve, right? That your nonprofit exists to solve? What is your mission, your vision? Like this, I'm helping you understand and crystallize and get committed to why you are doing what you're doing. Because when things get hard, and notice I said when, not if, it is going to be those being so firm in your belief of why you're doing what you're doing is going to help push you through while you're going through this whole grant writing process, okay? The next thing is, once you actually have laid out your mission, vision, goals, objectives, and the services, now I want you to look within your community and to see if there are any other organizations that are doing something similar, or maybe even exactly what you're wanting to do. And I need you to be honest about that, right? Why do I want you to do that? Why is that going to help you with grant writing? Because when you are submitting a proposal to a potential funder, if you have not taken a moment to do your homework, What you're going to be doing is asking a potential funder to possibly fund your organization, i.e., the same thing that they've been funding somebody else for the last 3, 5, 10 years. So you want to make sure that you get ahead of the curve. And if you find someone that is doing something similar, or it looks like on paper they're doing the same thing, then what you want to do is you want to go and partner with them. Y'all, I love using other people's money. Can y'all say other people's money? Like, we like using other people's money. Y'all put that in the chat. Other people's money. There we go. So what does that look like? Let's take Ignite, for example. When I created Ignite, we exist to combat economic inequality. That's why we exist. And the lowest hanging fruit for me was to provide services to small businesses, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits. Why? Because I firmly believed and have now approved that if I'm able to help you fortify your nonprofit or your for-profit business, not only are you able to take care of yourself and your company and your family, but you're also able to help your community. Does that make sense? Gotcha. So y'all tell me, let me know in the chat if this is making sense to you. Because I promise all of this goes into you writing that winning proposal. The next thing is assessing your team. She was the first Black female optometrist in the state of Alabama. She said, people properly placed prevents problems, right? I need you to understand that your team is your key to success. And now this is where I need you to lean all the way in. When you're talking about writing a winning proposal, y'all, and I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I need y'all to see my face and hear what I'm telling you. When you're writing a winning proposal, I need you to understand, y'all, submitting grants is like playing a lottery. There is no guarantee unless you stack the deck on your side. Y'all want to know what that means? How we do that? Relationships. Relationships. 5 years ago, I knew that as a Black woman in Alabama, I didn't have the privilege of having a good idea and somebody funding me. But y'all, I really believed that once I did the thing, if I proved it, not only would I be able to get support, but I would be able to get it easier. Wrong, right? And I've had my husband and my board and a couple of my close friends laughing at me because I was like, Lord, Michael Jackson tried to tell us they don't really care about us. But that's okay because you care enough about yourself because you're right here on this session and you are taking these notes and you're going to do exactly what I am showing you to do. This is how you build this board and then you leverage it. So when you're talking about writing a winning grant, right? The reason why you want to do that is because you need money into your organization. While you're on that journey, let me help you understand how to leverage other people's money, other people's expertise, right? So number one, when you have a board, you need to understand your board of directors is who owns your organization, not you. We'll get into that another time, right? And that ideally, your board should not include anyone that is related to somebody that's being paid in your organization. Now, as founders, you can have yourself on as like a non-voting ex officio member of your board, but it's very important that you have at least 5 people on that board. I like odd numbers, right? You could do as little as 3, but I like 5, right? So you need a president, a vice president, a secretary, a treasurer, and then what we call a member at large. Now, let me jump into how do you choose these people, right? So the skill sets that ideally you really need on your board is number one, an accountant or a CPA. right? Because that person can hold typically your treasurer position and help make sure you have all your financials where they need to be. You also need an amazing administrator. Why? That person can actually hold that secretary seat. And that secretary is really the most valuable player. A lot of times I used to think it was my CPA, right? My treasurer, but it's not. It is that administrator, because when you are a 501c3 public charity, according to the IRS, everything that you do must happen and be done and voted on within a board meeting. Okay. And it's documented by notes. So that means your secretary, and now all these different AI tools that Alicia hips us to, right, are now there to help make sure that everything that happens is properly documented and noted. So that if you ever get audited, if you ever get questioned, like all they have to do is pull a binder, right? Open up a digital file, all the information is there. Another part, which is why we're all here, because we're trying to get to the money, is a skill set you need. Is somebody that's really great at marketing and or sales. Why? Because grant writing, y'all, is nothing but selling your nonprofit, selling your vision, selling your mission, right? So that's the reason why earlier when I said, let's spend some time really crystallizing and getting committed to our why, it's important, because if I believe it, then I can help you believe it. I can sell it to you, right? And if you are one of those people that's not comfortable asking for money, that's okay. Just get somebody on your team that is. Y'all, is this helping you? And of course, the last one is an attorney, and then someone that, or someone's, right? A couple of people that are very passionate about what you exist to do. So now we're going to jump on over to the fundraising piece. So did y'all notice, like, this is page 11 within the document, right? All of those different steps that are leading up to fundraising, which is why you're here, is honestly what so many people skip over. And that is what prevents you from writing that winning proposal, right? Because it's just process. And the process is the process. And so what I've learned now in literally almost 30 years of being a nonprofit professional is that I'm either going to do it now, I'm going to do it later. And if I choose not to do it later or now, then I'm not going to be in existence. My organization is going to fail. When I started Ignite in 2019, I had been working for over 20 years in that nonprofit industry. 24 years. I had been in executive leadership, though, 18 of those, right? And I promise you, it was literally that 20 plus years of experience, i.e., the lessons that I learned, right? The times that I didn't get it right, that I was able to come equipped with all of that knowledge. And that is the reason why, y'all, I actually went ahead and was able to have conversations with the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. And actually, let's roll it back. April of 2019 is when I had the vision. I hosted my very first event in October of 2019. But the first thing I did by June is I got a fiscal agent. Why did I get a fiscal agent instead of going ahead and paying the money to apply for my 501c3 status with the IRS? Because I knew that I was having to self-fund everything, my husband and I, right? And my money was going to be limited. So I needed to spend my money on marketing. Y'all see step 7? Marketing and branding. Because at the end of the day, people, and think less, and I'm probably going to date myself, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Remember when we used to like interview in person, right? And you would have like it was the black suit first, right? Black suit. And then you get that second interview, it was going to be blue. And then if you get that third interview, I know mine was gray. That was my sequence. But who in the chat, anybody in the chat remember actually interviewing and really being, concerned with your first impression? right? Yes, yes, yes. Well, guess what? Your digital presence is your first impression to any funder. The first thing they're going to do when they hear about you and your organization is they're going to Google you. And what I knew is I needed to make sure that when anybody Googled at that time, Ignite Alabama, that we didn't look like we had just got started, right? That I presented our best foot forward from the website, which at that time, y'all, I only paid $500, right? So you got to crawl before you walk. Once Kellogg gave me the $600,000, I paid $1,500 for that website, but that was a whole 2 years later. But when we first got started, I had a simple little web page. Now look, wait a minute, because there's some of y'all that might be able to do a website. That's not my ministry. Okay. I can write you all day long. Like I can write some grants. These are the things I can do. I can talk to you. I can sell, but the technology, that child, that and accounting, right? Them are the two things that like picture just for 1 second, the busiest street that you can think of, right? The busiest highway intersection. Can y'all see it? Are y'all envisioning it? Let me know if y'all can see it in your area. Y'all got it? Now envision me walking in the middle of moving traffic. That's what happens if you want me to try to do anything with technology or accounting, like just not my ministry, right? So again, people properly placed prevents problems. So what I knew is I could go and I could call and I could get the meetings with the various funders. I could go to those meetings and I could literally pitch what we were doing. I could write the proposals. I could do all of the things. I could manage the events. I could put the events together. But what I couldn't do, and so what I had to use my money to do was to pay for my webpage, to pay for my flyers, to pay somebody to set up my socials, right? Those were all the things that I needed help with. So once I did that though, and the reason why you want to do it is because the first thing somebody's going to do is Google you. And they're going to judge you based off of what they see or what they don't see. So it was very important that I made sure that leading up to my very first event and then getting to the Kellogg Foundation, that when they Googled me, we didn't look like a startup. So what that looked like was me having a fiscal agent raising $43,000 cash without a 501c3 and almost $200,000 in-kind support, which means people paid for other things for me and my event on my behalf. Right. So in essence, I literally raised almost $250,000 between the $43,000 cash and the almost $200,000 that was literally spent out for me to have an event that I had set the room for 400 people and told the volunteers to literally stop counting at 650. And yes, Emma, I am saying fiscal agent. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate you. Fiscal agent. And so what a fiscal agent will do, y'all, basically is cosign for you. That is or another nonprofit or someone that currently has that 501c3 status that has been operating. They have a really good track record. Their financials are where they need to be. They have demonstrated that they were able to manage fiscally the money, right? And a lot of it. And that is who you choose, right? But that's somebody you have to trust, you have to have a relationship with, you have contracts in place, right? Because it has to be written. Now, let's get to why y'all were here. Although that was all why you were here. You just didn't know that that was all the things that you really needed to go into, okay? So now, when you're talking about fundraising, right? And yes, you're right. It does go back to relationships, right? Number one, you must work, and this is number one, you must work intentionally to build your nonprofit's capacity and sustainability. Number two, understand that when you're starting as a nonprofit, it is not only typical but necessary that you, your board, staff, and volunteers serve as the greatest contributors to your nonprofit via cash and in-kind services. So again, that's donating their support or their skill set, their expertise, or swiping, right, writing a check for you, all of the above. right? Number 3, do the best you can with what you have. Even if you're just providing supportive tips on social media, do something and be consistent. Number 4, submit funding requests and grants often. Yes, like every week. Fundraising never stops. Number 5, expect lots of no's and do not take them personally. And let me stop right here, y'all, because what I really want you to understand is when I said, and I have been in this thing for 30 years, you can look me up on LinkedIn. You can go to my website, look at the About Us, honey, I got the receipts, right? So I need you to hear me when I say that you have to submit, and when you submit 100 requests, 90 of those are going to come back as a no. Did you hear me? 90. 10 yeses. I've got to submit 100 requests just for the chance of getting 10 yeses. But those 90 no's are normal. So I cannot fall apart when those no's come. I have to now leverage AI technology, right? Processes, strategies, procedures to make sure that I'm maximizing my time and I'm being efficient, because even though I'm going to spend all of this time writing these grants, the truth of the matter is out of 100, 90 will most likely come back with a denial if they are polite enough to even give you a response. Let me say that, right? But those 10 yeses, we have to be grateful for and celebrate, but we cannot fall apart with those 90 no's. So can we say we not falling apart? I want y'all to drop it in the chat. We not falling apart. We gonna keep winning with purpose. We hanging in there. Yes, yes, come on, we hanging in there because your community needs you. So now, here is where we go. Be honest and follow instructions. When writing grants or responding to a request for a proposal, number 1, if your nonprofit does not truly do what the funder is requesting, do not apply. Okay? Remember, I told you, you can submit 100 requests that appear to be perfect for you and your organization. But the truth of the matter is, you probably are only going to get a positive response from at least 10. So why would you waste your time and your energy submitting something that doesn't even fit, right? Now you're just wasting time. And that's something you cannot get back. The next thing is answer all the questions exactly how and in the order that they asked. What that looks like is when you get it, and I'm going to show you an application in just a second. All of that information, they have the questions. You literally copy those questions and answer them in the order that they gave them and exactly how they asked them. Number 3, submit all requested supporting documentation. If you do not have all of the requested documentation, do not submit the funding request. That's how they weed you out, right? If they tell you to cross 10 T's and you only are able to cross 8 of them, I promise you, they're not even going to read your stuff. They're going to say, oh, they only crossed 8 T's, and they're going to sit it to the side, right? Not even going to review it. Don't do that to yourself. Always submit the funding request as soon as possible, but at least one day before the deadline. Guys, we cannot do things last minute, because technology, as much as a blessing as it is also a curse. What happens if the system crashes? Because all of these people are applying for this opportunity and now their system can't handle and it crashes. Guess what? That's not on the funder. You submitted last minute. Yours just didn't get through. That's one less application they have to look at. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The next thing is, if it has to be hand delivered, which is not many, but back in the day when I was doing this, we would be rushing like it's some got to be in somebody's office by 5 o'clock. I always made it My purpose, if I could not get it to them the day before, if I had to hand deliver something, if it had to be there at least 4 hours before, my deadline, if theirs was 5, I was gonna be in their office at 1, period, the end. Because again, if there's an accident on the expressway or whatever that prevents you from getting there on time, guess what? You've lost your opportunity. But all that work you put in it is now for naught, right? Be succinct. As y'all see, I talk a lot. I used to write before AI the way I talk, right? Y'all, they're not going to read all of that. Answer their questions. Don't add in all the fluff. I promise you it's going to be all right. The next thing is do not give the funders more information than what they requested. Y'all hear me? I know you want, don't do it. Answer their questions, nothing more, nothing less. And this last bullet is really, well, second to last, is really important. Whenever we are submitting a grant, we are actually asking that funder to invest. I know we're asking them to give us the money, but they're giving the money, it's still an investment. We're asking them to get to invest, right, in our organization. So a lot of times we'll see grant applications for 100,000, $1 million, 250, and we go for those. Y'all, we're not going to get them. Not unless we have a really strong fiscal agent, right? That has a presence and you have a presence as well. So what I would suggest and encourage you to do is to ask for smaller amounts, because if they're reading your grant, your proposal, and they're really excited about your idea, it is more likely for them to invest 1,000, 2,500, 5,000 on your good idea, right? Than them giving you even 10,000, let alone 100,000 or $1 million to do something. Does that make sense, y'all? And the last thing is, again, coming back to relationships, consider collaborating with other organizations, because it is always better to get half of something than zero of nothing. Y'all understand? Any questions before I now show you how to do all of this? All right, Jess said, I sit on my county's lodging tax advisory board. We fund grants for festivals and grants. Can I give this information to our community organizations? Absolutely. So Katina, I would love to hear, because you said you disagree. Alicia and Dadrian, does Katina have the opportunity to actually speak?
Let me see. Hang on 1 second.
If not, Katina, if you will put it in the chat, because I would really love to hear why you're disagreeing.
I did unmute her. Katina, did you want to chime in?
Oh, she said she's at the
Okay.
dentist. She's at the dentist.
Okay.
Okay, so Katrina, let me tell you, Katina, I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. Katina, let me tell you why I said that. These again are just my opinions. And while we're doing that, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up, hopefully it's y'all good friend too, because y'all following Alicia. So I know we all got to be doing and using ChatGPT. But while I'm doing that, the reason why I suggest asking for those smaller amounts is because, y'all, when I first got started, I told you I started with nothing. Okay. Well, and I thought that once I proved it, all the things. What I've seen and what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to shift, because these are actually some real funding opportunities that I found that I want to share with you guys. Let's see. Okay. This is one for those of you guys, because there's a lot of you that are new. So this, I think, might be really valuable for you, potentially. And I'm going to show you how to read through this. But before I do, Katina, I started in 2019 with nothing. My husband and I, literally everything that we needed, that almost 250,000 that went to the event, right? However, everything that we needed leading up to it and after it until the Kellogg Foundation invested in our work in December of 2020, we literally paid for using our credit cards and our cash, okay? Now, until my big break in December of 2020, where I just told you guys, I literally only was able to raise 43,000 cash. There was a colleague of mine that happens to be a white male that his organization started to basically do the same thing that Ignite was already doing, and we started in 2019. Okay. His organization started in 2020, July, August, after the pandemic. Okay. That organization started as an LLC with $46 million. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. 46 million, right? I ain't complaining. I'm just explaining. So it's real. So Katina, if you are able, and it's okay, right? Because my grandma said the best revenge is to succeed and excel. So now I'm going to build $1 billion nonprofit in their face. And y'all going on this journey with me. Watch me, right? But Katina, are you a nonprofit professional? And while she's letting me know if you're a nonprofit professional, and I also want to know if you are, how much has your organization revenue? Because honey, if you're able to find a strategy that I haven't, let me know. But I'm just going to tell y'all what I've been doing. The last 3 years, I have been able to raise $1.9 million. And that is with all odds against me. Okay. And so if there's another way, let me know because I want to know. And I'm gonna take your class. Now, how do you read a RFP? Because we only literally got 20 minutes left. So RFP stands for request for proposal. Okay. So request for proposal. A lot of times, when they put out a grant notice, it may be a request for proposal. It may be federally a NOFO, so a notice of funding opportunity, NOFO, notice of funding opportunity. The bottom line is, whatever it is, you need to read it well. So with this is the builders and backers. And this is for those of you guys that are new. So for you, that anybody that's on here that is a for-profit, I want you to take a look at this. Any of you guys that have not filed yet and registered your nonprofit, I need you to understand everything you're wanting to do for your nonprofit, you can and you should be doing as a for-profit, right? So I want us to focus our energy on building profitable for-profits so that then we're making so much money, we now am able to take that overflow to create our own nonprofit because we need the tax shelter. How about that, right? That's what we want to do. But a proven way to launch your idea, right? We've helped hundreds of people, blah, 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 right? You'll be supported by a studio team of experts in strategy, marketing, low-code tools, and more. Plus, you'll be eligible for $5,000 from our Pebble Fund to put your idea in action. So what we want to do, y'all, is we're going to go to, is there anybody in here that is actually a for-profit company? Because I'm going to use you as an example. Anybody in here that is a for-profit company? Okay, tell me what you do. Anybody tell me what you do? I see Lynette, Wanda, Nilda. What do you do? You're a travel agency. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to do this. So I'm going over to ChatGPT. Did it switch over, y'all? And so,
yes, it did.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, ChatGPT, I have a travel agent. I need your help. Wait a minute, because I talk to it, y'all, like I talk to anybody. Need your help. Writing a winning grant proposal for a funding opportunity I just found. But first, I want to give you some information from the website. Do you understand? And I'm also going to say, I have a travel agency. Uh-oh. And I need, right? So we know it's going to do its thing because she didn't taught you, so I don't have to do all of that, right? So now the first thing I'm going to do, because I need time, is I'm just going to see if it's going to just be able to read the website, because sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So now I'm going to give it the website and let's see if it's able to give me anything. Up, up, up. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right. And it's telling me to visit. And so this is what it's saying. It's open to residents in Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Detroit, Michigan, and U.S. military veterans, right? So is there anybody that lives in the state of Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Detroit, Michigan, or if you're a U.S. veteran, because it'll take you as a veteran. I want to look in here. First person to respond. I'm about to do this. Okay, so Beverly, you're a vet. And what type of business do you have? Or Nilda, she's in Michigan. What type of business? Whoever tell me their business, I'm about to write it for you. Let ChatGPT. We're going to workshop it with ChatGPT. So Nilda is business AI consulting. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Thanks so much. I need to write this for my business AI consulting company. Do you understand? Not travel, right? So I want to let it know because I'm about to switch it up and then I'm going to send this chat to you. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. I'm in the state of Michigan. And what's your business name, Nilda? Oh, okay. Business AI Consulting LLC. And so now I'm going to look. So wait. Y'all see this? It's giving you your introduction and the problem statement, all of that stuff, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you step-by-step guides. So I know I'm going through this super fast, but I just want you to know that I use ChatGPT to help me. Typically, I put in all of my information so you like train it, but because I'm going to send this to you, I'm trying to keep it as accurate as possible, Nilda. But what I would do is I literally would go to my website. So do you have your website, Nilda? Do you have a website yet for your business? Okay. So I'm about to go to your website. Hold on, okay? And y'all let me know if this is switching because I just want you to see how fast this is. So did it switch over to her website?
Yes, it did.
Fantastic. So I'm going back to ChatGPT. Oh, this is wonderful. Thanks, Chat. Here's my website. Please provide a summary. And I'm going to give it my website, her website.
The way you said, oh, this is wonderful. We all love that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's because it's wanting me, what I'm doing is I'm going to go through, right? And I'm going to take your who are we, right? So I'm just going to copy this because I don't have time to go back and forth with it because y'all got to go. So I'm just copying, right? And I'm coming back and we're just going to see what it does. But I normally would just do sort of like one section at a time, right? Ah, it doesn't like that. Anywho, y'all get the thing. So I'm going to say, thanks so much. Based on what you've read from my website, can you write a general proposal for me to use, not what builders and backers needs. I just want to capture what you've shared. Do you understand? Yeah. Now, remember, I told you writing a proposal and a grant is literally like playing the lottery, right? So you want to use this to get and leverage all that you can to help you through this process to do it quickly. So now I'm going back to their website and I'm going to apply now, right? Typically, what I do, and they have a video, but y'all can go back and watch the video later. I'm just going to start the application. I literally, y'all, take all of this and I put it into Word and I answer the entire application in Word. Okay. And it's probably not going to let me go through this. So I'm just going to do test, test. Lord, they gone. I'm this sad. My mommy passed away. So I use her old number, y'all, when I don't want to get spam, just so y'all know. But I want to show you how this thing can help you. And I'm gonna say Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. So Nilda, are you in Detroit, Michigan? Right? So watch this. Problem and idea. All I'm doing is copying it. Perfect. Now I need your help answering the grant questions. Here's the first one. I normally would read this, edit it, make it say what I wanted to say, but for the sake of this, I am going to just go ahead and paste this because I want y'all to see, right, how quickly you can get this done. And again, it's very important not to let AI take your voice. What that means is don't be lazy. Don't do what I'm doing this for the sake of a demonstration to show you how easy it is for you to get basically a template to go through and to edit, right? But you want to make sure that you give it all the information and then you just let it help refine it for you. Is this helpful to y'all? So the idea, Neil, that it says is to provide a specialized AI consulting services tailored specifically for small to medium-sized businesses. What makes this idea novel is our focus on making AI accessible, practical, and scalable for companies that traditionally lack the resources, blah, blah, blah. I want to edit this a little bit and I want to say, this is great, but ChatGPT, COVID really showed how bad the digital divide is in Black and Brown communities. Please adjust this response to reflect the urgent need for my services. Do you understand? Right? Here in Detroit, Michigan. Right? So now it just edited. Now I'm going to say, that's great. Please search the web for any data and stats, being sure to validate this, being sure to cite, to reference and cite the statistics for Detroit, Michigan. Do you understand? Y'all, do you see this? During the pandemic, I'm just picking up in the middle. During the pandemic, the inability to access reliable internet meant that small businesses in these communities struggled to adapt to new digital demands, from remote work to online customer engagement. This lack of connectivity exacerbates existing inequalities, leaving these communities at a disadvantage in increasingly digital economy. Your services at Business AI Consulting are urgently needed to bridge this gap by providing. So it's saying all of the things, right? And so I'm gonna say I like number two, because I just saw they tried to trip it up, which is another reason why you have to read it, right? Because if you would have just copied and pasted this, the reviewer would have saw you use AI. Because you see how it just said here, your services at Business AI. We need this to read like you're writing it to the reviewer, right? Not that you're including your information in there. And so I'm going to catch it. I'm going to say, I like version one, but I need to make sure that I'm writing to the reviewer versus you, chat, sharing the information with me. Do you understand? See how it fixed it? Business AI Consulting is positioned to address this urgent need. Our AI consulting services are specifically designed, blah, blah, blah. And they gave you the actual places where they found that information. So that was a lot. I hope it was helpful. Any questions? Any comments? Was this helpful to y'all? Are y'all glad y'all jumped on? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I want to get the resources to you. I will actually share this information with Alicia and Dadrian and their team so they can send it out to all of you guys. But if you would like to stay connected with Ignite, because we here for the people, you can go to our website, www.igniteal.org. Again, that is www.igniteal.org, and get on our email list. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Now, look, I don't use social media the way I'm supposed to. Don't tell nobody, but I don't. But I have a team that's managing it for me. So if you like me, make sure you at least have a team, because we got to be on there. That's what you got to do. But you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Torin Darling Brazzle is my name. And Alicia, thank you so much for this time.
You are welcome. I'm getting your LinkedIn right now for everyone. Let's make sure that we're all following you on LinkedIn. And if everybody would make sure that you get on her email list so that you can find out more about what she's doing and find her more. So take a minute and just get her LinkedIn and paste it in for everybody for me, please. So thank you so much. So, oh, Beverly said I already sent you a connection request. Beverly, put her LinkedIn in here for me, please. So we have it
And I just
handy and
gave you
fast.
guys
Okay.
the flip book. Now we're updating it because that was from
Okay.
2021, y'all. So I'm just adding stuff to it, like Chat GPT, right? How to do this,
Right.
how to train it, because it is a thing with training. So what you would do is just take your email, like your website, any proposals you previously written, pitch decks, like whatever content you have. What I just want y'all to understand is ChatGPT and all these other tools are such an amazing resource for you to help you with your efficiency. Put all of your information in there and then it'll go from there. But I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide, and that will help you put together your proposals. And, I'm here and I'm available. So there we go.
And we love you. Thank you so much. Just a phenomenal job. You need to go back and read the comments and see how many people's eyes were opened now and said, "Oh, you explained that so well. You're very good at teaching and explaining, and we know you've come so far and done such amazing things. We see it shining all over you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming. Everybody, would you take a minute and give her feedback in the comments right here? Dadrian, if you would screenshot them so that we can give it to her. Let her know what you thought about her session, about her as a presenter, because this was a complete give that she did for us. She said she will come, she will share. So make sure that you're following her. I am already following her on LinkedIn and Ignite Alabama. So make sure that you're doing that. You sign up for her email newsletter and just give back in any way that you can. So thank you so much, Torin, for being here with us today and just bringing so much goodness to all of us. You should see the chat. Like, we were all talking about how amazing it was the whole time you were talking. So we're having conversations with each other about how amazing the content was. So Barry said, signed up for your newsletter. Cynthia said it was a treasure trove for a nonprofit organization. Janice said this was definitely a blessing to have you on today. Denise says Torn was quite a mouthful, immaculate. Kimberly said very easy to understand, very clear, and Torn really brought value in using ChatGPT. Lynette said it was so insightful, and I'm so very happy I came. Thank you for your wisdom. That's a good word, wisdom, right there. Anne says, thank you to this amateur. I am constantly trying to help poor people in Uganda and in rural areas. So for her, it was just an eye opener. Nilda said, I appreciate you using her business as a test case. And last, we'll do one more. Silper says, um, so now she said, for someone employed in the nonprofit and keen to transition to my own nonprofit, it was a lot of good information for her. We could go on and on. I'll let them keep writing so we can screenshot that and
I
send it to
love
you.
it. Thank you so much. And
You were
Nilda, if you'll
phenomenal.
reach out to me, I will actually work with you and help you get that grant done.
Look at
I
that.
rushed through it, but I will go through it. And Alicia, what I'll do, if it's okay, is I'll record it with
Sounds
Nilda,
good.
and then you can share that recording so I can literally show them like every step of the way how that works. Nilda, if that's
Great
okay
kid.
with you, because we got to share, y'all. We stronger together.
It's so true.
We are
Nilda's
all stronger together.
she's big about sharing, so she will definitely make sure it's recorded, Nilda. Make sure it's recorded. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for coming on another session of the Learning Tube. Once it gets up on the replay page, we will post it in the Facebook group and on the replay page. You will get an email. Make sure to share it and tell others to follow Torin as well. Bye, Torin. You bedazzled, brazzled us all the way from start to finish, and we love you. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. She put her email there as well. Oh, for Nilda. Okay, Nilda, make sure that you get that. Yep. Have a safe Labor Day, everybody. Bye. Take care. Thanks for coming. Remember, in the chat, you're just putting what you thought about her session. Dadrian, if you would screenshot that and we'll send it over to her. So we're going to leave the chat up for just a few more minutes so we can screenshot what you've said. And as a gift back to her, send her that feedback. That's so important. That's the least we could do, right? For her amazing time. All right. Thank you so much.